Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is another pick a card reading. You are free to pick whichever pile you feel drawn to the most, and then skip to the timestamp in the description for your reading. However, I do have a little story today. I felt really compelled to go to the GameStop and use my pro points, even though on a logical level, I didn't think there would be anything there. When I went on Friday for the Blooming Waters release, I was unable to acquire any Blooming Waters. However, for some reason today, I thought that I would find Blooming Waters at the GameStop, even though they don't really restock that sort of thing. But I went. I walked into the store, and the cashier was on the phone with, I assume, his boss. And his boss was chewing him out for having some Blooming Waters in the back. And he explained that one of the other employees had saved the Blooming Waters for themselves, but they hadn't actually come back to pick it up and buy it. And it had been a few days. So his boss was really angry and was basically like, "You sell that Blooming Waters today." And so I went up to the counter after he was done with that conversation, and I was like, "Hey, what Pokemon packs do you have in stock?" And he was like, "We don't really have anything left except for one Blooming Waters box." And I was like, "Okay, I'll get the Blooming Waters box then." He seemed pretty happy with that, so now his boss is not breathing down his neck anymore. And so now I have 151 to open today for you all. I'm pretty happy about that because I have not been able to find any 151 at MSRP since I have started collecting this year. So it was a pretty good find, and I was pretty happy about it. Anyway, with that exposition out of the way, I'm going to start our readings now. We're going to be doing another Celtic cross spread. Okay, pile number 1. If you selected this malachite and garnet bracelet, along with this Arceus deck sleeve, then this is going to be your Celtic cross reading. Right. So card number 1 is for your present situation. We have Paris. This is a bit of an interesting card to get. It kind of feels like you're not... You might feel like you're not in your fully evolved state, for lack of a better word. Especially since Paris has these like things growing on it, which do help, but also they kind of take away its autonomy later in life. So you might feel a little stuck between how much freedom you should be having versus how much you should stay in line. For card number 2, we have... These are like obvious challenges in your way. We have Voltorb. This would imply a lot of impulsiveness, possibly anger outbursts. I also get the feeling that things feel like they're very unfair right now. And this might not necessarily be how you feel about the world, but it could be other people projecting onto you right now, which is partly what's causing this sort of feeling, is other people's negative emotions and them projecting them onto you and taking it out on you. So for your thoughts, or like things you're actively conscious about, this crabby is out here like scavenging, right? You know, salt water. Search your deck for extra energy and add it. And then you can use Crab Hammer. So things on your mind right now might be the fact that you're trying to get in a better position. Now, as for your subconscious, things to pay attention to, the sand shrew, the thing is, sand gets everywhere. It's not great. And this sand shrew's ability, that can really mess up someone's day. So, but like, sand is such like a little thing, right? So the things to pay attention to are all of the little things grating on you and preventing you from doing whatever it is that you want to do, or rather, prevent you from setting up. However, for the past influences, we have the Parasect, and this is an interesting card to get in conjunction with the Paris, because in a sense it feels like you're devolving somehow, but at the same time, Paris has more autonomy than Parasect, right? Parasect is just going along with whatever the mushroom is telling it to do. It doesn't really think for itself anymore. It's all the mushroom. So it could be that you're in this situation because you used to just kind of do whatever people told you to do a little too much, and now that you're not really doing it as much, you're kind of lost and you feel like you've fallen. But let's look at these other cards here. For the immediate future, we have the Cloister. Now, this is an interesting card to get because the Cloister is both offensive and defensive. Look, it's got that shell. So this implies that you're going to be able to turn things around and start using your traits to your own advantage. However, it does imply a bit of a more defensive style of playing for now. For attitude and perceptions, we have Giovanni's Charisma. Now, Giovanni's Charisma is about turning the tables. So, even if it's a little underhandedly, so this does mean that you do have, this implies that you do have the wits to do it. It's just a matter of actually finding the right time to enact certain important parts of your plan. Now, external factors eradicate. This isn't the best. I'm not gonna mince words. This is not the best. External factors being the eradicate, it really gnaws at you. This is a really grating card to get, but so hopes and fears to pay attention to. You are hoping that it is smooth sailing eventually, and the outcome, the Gyarados, look at this power. Like I said, you do have the resources, or rather or perhaps you will get the opportunity to do things. And it does feel really annoying right now. But victory is possible, is what I'm getting here. It's, again, just a matter of harnessing your freedom, figuring out your strengths, like, min-maxing your stats, in a sense. Because, look at this Gyarados. Nobody tells Gyarados what to do, except maybe, like, electric types, but... yeah. So, if you don't really know how you're supposed to proceed, this card would also imply that you might need to switch your thinking a little before it clicks. So keep that in mind, pile number 1. But I see the ambition. Even if you don't feel it, I see the potential ambition here. And that's going to be an important part of this. Anyway, that is your reading, pile number 1. I hope that was helpful. Oh, before I end this water energy, go with the flow. That is your reminder. Anyway, hope this helped, pile number 1. Thank you for watching. Pile number 2, if you picked this purple tiger's eye and garnet bracelet, along with this Lucario deck sleeve, this is going to be your Celtic Cross reading. Alright, so first of all, let me get a deck sleeve, or not a deck sleeve, let me get a protector for this Mr. Mime card before I go and ruin it. Anyway, so first of all, your current situation, Abra, you want out. That is such a very... this feels like such a very pointed thing. If this, like, does not apply to you at all, you might want to look at the other readings, but if you really resonate with that escape, like, desire, keep watching. So, for challenges, we have the Diglett. Now, this would imply a lot of unseen things, or things that pop up and they disappear and then they pop up again. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going on here. Some things you know about, some things going on behind your back, but let's see if we can illuminate this a bit. So for current thoughts, this seems like you're well aware of all of the things that you really want to do here. Or rather, no, yeah, this seems like you're well aware of your dreams and all of the things that you really want to do. As far as your subconscious and the root of the problem, it seems like you should also start paying attention to the things that you already have that are surrounding you. And I don't mean like that whole thing where it's like, oh, list 3 things you're grateful for. But I mean, you need to start paying to all of the things that you can control in the situation and make good use of them accordingly. Because this will allow you to help figure out your plan, whether it be you actually do figure out you do want to keep with your escape plan, or figure out something else. Now, for past things you should probably acknowledge, Executor. This is a time of lounging around. You might have nostalgia for when you didn't have a lot of responsibilities, and that is also partially fueling the escapism aspect of it. But that is not something that can particularly last. For the future, the immediate future, we have the rigid band. Now is the time to stand your ground and toughen up. That's not really something that anyone wants to be told to do, but it is the only thing to do right now, if only to buy some time until you figure out what you actually want to do. For attitude, we have Graveler. This really does come off as you being a bit stubborn. This isn't really surprising. But you need to put that stubbornness into a new target. Like, instead of I want to leave, maybe I want to survive. Something like that. For the external factors, we have the Geodude. And this being an immediate pre-stage, basic stage for this, would imply that part of the reason why things are not working out right now is the world or your situations are just not ready for you yet. So you can't really run away from it because there is nothing to run to yet. Now, hopes, fears, and things to pay attention to, we have Mr. Mime. Now, Mr. Mime is an interesting Pokemon. It's literally miming out a chess game in this image, right? And it's also able to put up barriers. So this does imply that you have to play the game a little bit to get where you want, but you should also be sure to set your boundaries with people. This will help you keep your sanity. It will help you stay focused. I mean, think about this card. They're playing chess. They have to memorize where all the pieces go in their imagination. Setting your boundaries will help you stay focused on your goal. As for the actual result of this goal, the Vileplume, this is an interesting card to get in this situation because it implies that it's not you that will be running away, but that if you stick to your guns, your problems might run away from you instead. Which is probably good news to hear. And it would make sense if this is an interpersonal issue where you need to assert your boundaries. So, yeah, now that I said that, that makes so much more sense. If you feel suffocated because you feel like a specific person or group of people is just not good for you, yeah, that's why the world is not ready for you yet, because you have to do that work on yourself and build that self-confidence, assert your boundaries. Because if you don't, and you just leave and you go somewhere else, the same thing could just happen again, right? And this might not be like an interpersonal relationship, like having a bad partner or something, but it could also be that, like, you are not respected at your job or something like that. You have to realize how much you're willing to put up with. And then once you do realize how to effectively manage your time, your social interactions, etc., that's when you're going to see some real good growth in both yourself and in your situation. All right? So, pile number 2, that is your reading for today. I hope that helped. Pile number 3, if you picked this bracelet with the tiger's eye and the dichroic glass, along with this walking wake deck sleeve, this is going to be your reading for today. Helix Fossil, Slowpoke, Magmar, Horsey, Erica's Invitation, Magneton, Uniqueen, Eevee, Flareon, Gyarados, and the Hollow Energy. Alright, that means that this is going to be a little bit more significant than usual. Oopsies, where did my card go? The Helix Fossil. Alright. The first card is about your present situation, Helix Fossil. You are trapped in the past. Your situation has not been moving forward. This seems pretty self-explanatory in terms of the symbolism, I think. So we're going to move on to the challenges. Slowpoke. Again, things are not moving, and you feel like you are not moving. You're not gaining any momentum. Everything is just going so slowly right now. Thoughts and consciousness, obviously you want things to heat up. You want things to start going a bit faster. But here's the thing. It's going too fast can get you burned. But, for subconscious and roots of the problem, we have the Horsey. And this feels like part of the reason why nothing is really changing is because you're going a little too much with the flow. And you're just kind of drifting along, if that makes sense. And you might be sitting here thinking, oh, but I work hard, but like, the thing is, work smarter, not harder. You might be working hard, but you might be working hard in the wrong places. And you are expecting other things to resolve on their own, but those are the things that you need to be working on. If you understand me. For the past influences that are affecting this, we have Erica's Invitation. This is a card of someone else forcing your hand. It might be that you feel like part of the reason why you don't have options is because other people are making those options for you. So, for the future, we have the immediate future, we have Magneton. This kind of implies that things might pick up a little bit, but ultimately they're still going to be pretty mundane, and you're still going to be saddled with the same things that you always are. However, this is the immediate future. So, looking at attitudes and perceptions. Nidoqueen. So, this, you might need to unlock your queenly energy, I suppose. You know, if other people are making the decisions for you, and if nothing is changing, it's time to make your own decisions, right? Now, for the external factors, we have Eevee. Eevee is a card of possibilities. It can evolve into pretty much anything that it wants, but obviously, you're hoping that this situation will evolve into something a bit more active. Now, the result is that, yeah, it is going to change at some point, and it's going to hit you like a truck all at once. It's going to make waves. But the thing is, you're going to have to throw those first stones. You're going to have to initiate that activity in order to get what you want and make some headway in this stagnant situation. It's not going to come naturally. There has to be some kind of executive decision. Not entirely sure of what, but it's relating to something that that someone else has been doing for you, and something in the mundane lifestyle is what I'm feeling. So yeah, if you want things to change, you're going to have to make the move. But you can do it. These are good cards to get. I mean, Nido Queen, Eevee evolving into Flareon, very active type fire, and Gyarados, one of the biggest threats of the ocean. So yeah, assert yourself. Get what you want. Alright, pile number 3. That is your reading for today. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.